I'm a taxi driver, and I work the night shift. I usually drive late-night partygoers and night shift workers back and forth on a daily basis. You might be wondering why I work the night shift. Simply put, the night differential pay is a lot bigger than the day shift, and it's less stressful compared to the day shift. The only drawback, however, was if it was a rainy night shift. I wasn't really comfortable with driving in the rain. Before, it wouldn't be a problem. But that was before that Halloween night. And believe me, you would be scared too if it happened to you. It was a particularly rainy Halloween, and almost all the kids had gone home or took refuge under some shade, hoping to continue trick-or-treating. I, on the other hand, was busy driving passengers to Halloween parties that were happening all over the city. You can imagine how many costumed passengers I have had in the back seat. Some wore pretty costumes, others quite creepy, some generic ones, and even costumes that didn't seem like costumes at all. After a while, it seemed that there weren't any passengers flagging down taxis, so I waited in my usual stop and decided to have a quick nap. Driving at night may be rewarding, but having a little sleep was even better. Just then, I heard a knock on my window. I woke up and I saw a woman completely drenched from the rain. I lowered my window and asked what was wrong. "I need a ride," she said. "Can you drive me?" "Sure," I said. I watched as the woman slid into the back seat and took off what seemed to be a drenched raincoat. I reached for my spare towel and handed it to her. "Here, you can dry yourself off with this," I said. "Now, where would you like to go?" The woman gave me her address, and in a few minutes we began to drive along the rain-soaked road. I tried to strike a conversation with her, such as where she was coming from, why she was on her own, and, more importantly, why she was traveling at night. However, the woman was quiet and just looked out of the window. I then glanced at the address she had given me, and I started getting confused. "Miss," I started, "are you sure you want to go to this address?" I looked at the rearview mirror. The woman was silent still. I focused my gaze on the road once more, still wondering why she wanted to go to this address. I knew where this was, and for the life of me, I couldn't understand why she wanted to go there at this time and during this kind of weather. "I just need to be there," I heard her voice speak. I looked at the rearview mirror once more and saw that the woman was now looking at me, her face still drenched from the rain, but otherwise eerily visible. We approached her destination, and as I pulled the taxi to a stop, I could see the woman stretch her arm out and hand me several soaked bills before climbing out and walking into the dark, rain-soaked road. I watched her figure walk away. I then thought of how dangerous it was at night, so I got out of the car and went after her. "Miss," I said, "it's dangerous tonight." I ran up to her walking figure, but just as I touched her shoulder, I could feel an intense cold shoot up from my fingers all the way up to my body. I saw her slowly turning her head, and to my horror, I came face to face with what looked like a decaying corpse staring right back at me. The skin was loose and gray, and its eyes were sunken into their sockets. Its jaw opened into a wide toothless grin that stretched from ear to ear. I stumbled and ran back to the car and tried to start the engine, hoping to get away. I looked back to the front, and to my surprise, the woman was gone. I reversed the car and drove as fast as I could. Now, you might be wondering what address she gave me. Well, I forgot to mention that I live in Justice, Illinois, and the address she gave me is a particularly well-known place that most people here avoid as much as they can. It's a place where there are reports of a woman who asks for a ride only to vanish or simply terrify the drivers. The name of the vanishing woman was Mary. and the address in question is a large, greasy property called Resurrection Cemetery.